What is good, Knicks fans? Coming at you with another video. Got a few topics that we want to get into. I got my brother here with me. If you want to hit up his gamer YouTube channel, it's
Quiet Cool 82.
There you go. Then we're gonna get into a few Knicks topics. So let's talk Knicks. First topic: the Knicks young core or Donovan Mitchell. Which one would you want? And first, we want to start off with your thoughts. Wait, you want to start with my thoughts?
Start with your thoughts and everything.
All right, I'll give a pros and cons, basically 4 and 4.9.
Yeah.
The young guys, we want to see their development this year, right? Because Obi, Quickly, and Grimes have been looking good this offseason.
Well, especially Grimes.
Grimes, but you see all these clips of Obi and Quickly just put in so much work. Like they keep on doing it every season. They show the work and they demonstrate it on the floor, and that's what we love to see. And this team, as is, right now, would play much better defense if we didn't trade for Donovan Mitchell. A post Donovan Mitchell trade would be gutting most of the team. Oh, not most of us, because we got Cam, we got Fournier, we got a lot of guys.
I want to say something about that. But
we got a lot of guys. I mean, you could put your input.
Yeah,
right
well, I mean, like the whole thing about bringing in Mitchell like that can possibly gut the team in the post Rudy Gobert trade world, right? Because the Jazz are going to want too much for Donovan Mitchell because of what happened with Rudy Gobert. Right?
And that set the market for this offseason.
Yeah, that set the precedent, and that's what's a little too dangerous for a team like the Knicks, who basically have just a big young core that you know a lot of small assets you can throw, but they're going to want a lot of those assets for someone who's basically a perennial All-Star.
Exactly. Right now, he haven't hit at his peak. He's 25.
Yeah, he hasn't hit. This is the reason why I was asking about his age. This is only going to be his 6th year in the NBA, right?
Going to be.
He's going to be his 6th year in the NBA. He's only 25. He's still on the come up, right? Yes. He's like a breakout season away from maybe some kind of.
He's at 26 point.
I don't think. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, he had the average.
In terms of his ceiling, I don't see him. Like, obviously I don't see him like Durant or Curry status or whatever, but you never know. You never know. He could be a late bloomer, right? You know what I mean? Look at Giannis. Look at Giannis. Giannis didn't break out until...
Look at the numbers he's continuously pulling up every year. So he can be his own thing. It don't have to be a Durant or Curry.
So no. The reason why I'm saying because that's their levels to it. That's exactly what it is. Is that there are levels to it. So if you want a high-level player that's going to give you a lot of scoring, fine. The problem is that between him and Brunson in the backcourt, that's not a lot. That's virtually no defense or very little defense.
Exactly. But that's my point. Let me get back to my point. My fault. My point is that the defense, you got so many people. Because if you're gonna have to give up, even if you give up, because the ideal trade for most people is giving up Fournier, Cam, and McBride and a lot of picks. But giving up Fournier and Cam. They can give a lot to this ball club, but yes,
Fournier. I just want to get rid of Fournier.
Yeah, but I'm talking about him coming off the bench would be amazing, playing with that bench unit. But Brunson and Donovan, not a good tandem. And then you want to get rid of Randall after you get Donovan, because that's the whole thing. They want to get rid of Randall.
They want to get rid of Randall, was just like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. The defense isn't gonna be there. But, look, we have so much depth right now. That if somebody goes down, the next nigga is ready to take that place, bro.
I mean, would you say even in center?
Even in center, yeah. We got 3 centers right now.
Yeah, we got 3. Ian Hartenson is the other one that we discovered.
Oh, no, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Is it? Oh, Isaiah. I said Ian.
Yeah, he's
Isaiah Hartenstein. Yeah, from the Clippers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then we have...
we have Mitchell.
Jericho Sims.
And then we have Jericho Sims backing those two up. Yes, exactly. We have a...
It's actually a pretty good trio of centers. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to get rid of any of these centers.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna want to. I think they're gonna hold on to those 3.
All of them are gonna be good.
So, but then that's the problem, right? The smaller pieces, like a Quickly, which we want to keep. You know what I mean?
Quickly, Grimes and Obi would be the ones in the trade that they want, because they're not moving forward unless they're in a trade. And Danny Ainge is such a stickler that he wants 2 of them.
I know a lot of Knicks purists would want Obi to stay and develop in New York, simply because he's a New Yorker that was drafted by New York. You know what I mean? So
IQ's a fan favorite also.
IQ's become a fan favorite.
And Grimes, everybody want to see his progression, because he already, out of all 3 of them, he has the highest floor, But his ceiling, we don't know it because he could. If he puts the ball on the floor continuously, he can do a lot of things.
At the same time, remember we were talking about just now that because this Mitchell technically he is a young player that's still developing, right? Mm-hmm. With while he was on Utah, all he had was Rudy Gobert. Now Rudy Gobert, yes, he's another All-Star, but he's basically just he's a defensive big man. He's not a big star next to him like say a Chris Paul next to a Devin Booker. Yeah. Which is what I feel that the closest thing that I can compare Donovan Mitchell to.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
You put someone like that next to a Devin Booker, then yes, he will make a deep playoff run. So, but the Donovan Mitchell will make a deep playoff run. But in the Knicks, it depends on what they want. Do they want to develop for the future? They can develop around.
They want to win now.
Around Mitchell, but the problem with developing around Mitchell is that you have to sacrifice a lot of your. You have to sacrifice.
Because he wants two of the young three pieces that we want to keep. We want to keep all three of them and give up as many picks. Well, I don't think they're trying to give up all 8 picks. It's just a whole big thing.
Yeah. So the thing is, if the Knicks are in win now mode, then they're gonna go for they go for something like a Mitchell, right? They have
give up 2 young pieces, 6 picks.
Get basically damn near guaranteed All-Star and because
you're giving up Cam. We don't know what he can do next season.
Yeah, Cam Reddish is like another one. That's another one that I'm really hesitant on letting go.
And Fournier, if he can embrace that bench role, and even
he's a good shooter. It's just his defense is worse.
We're gonna need his shooting at some point during the season. We're gonna need a knockdown shooter, automatic shooter, because him and Grimes are the only ones that got a quick trigger, easy. Because Quickly but it's just like Quickly has to do more to do. I don't know.
Quickly's a much younger player, so it doesn't bother me.
But you see all the people we're throwing out there? The depth that this team has, we can do a lot with this team.
Yeah.
If we just stick to this team, because Brunson, look, this is what I want to get into also. With Alec Burke as the point guard last season, we're 37-45.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody throughout the whole regular season, if we had a point guard to win this game for us, to settle us down in this game, we will win this game.
So just with Brunson, you feel that
so let's say 5 or 6 more wins. Let's say 5 or 6 more wins. Those that we needed that point guard. That point guard's gonna give us 5 or 6. Like if Rose was healthy, that he would give us 5 or 6 more wins, right?
Well, I mean,
if we would definitely be in the play-in and battling Charlotte or one of these guys for that play-in spot.
Charlotte or Atlanta.
Yeah, and we could potentially get there because we had the experience of a playoff.
Team, yeah. I mean,
playoff series last year before.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So
with this guy that was all driven by Randall, and Randall completely choked at that shit.
But no.
Now
Rose
we're talking about
before he went down, he was killing it for us, right? I'm saying
I'm talking about that playoff.
He even settles Randall down. Rose even settles Randall down. But I'm talking about this year where those games where he could have settled us down.
Because at this point,
especially settled Randall down.
Do you want to keep Randall? Because I mean, at this point, I feel he's become a liability.
I would not want to keep Randall. Oh
yeah, because right now,
if we get this is what we also want to get into. Is the other pros and cons of Donovan Mitchell. This is the pro version. We haven't had a star, an actual star, because Randall is not a star to me.
Yeah,
actual star since Melo.
And the thing is, you have to understand that the Knicks team seems to feed off of the Knicks crowds when they have a star.
Yes. But the NBA is driven by stars more than role players and semi all stars.
It's been that way since Jordan. Since Bird Magic.
Since the beginning of the NBA.
To an extent,
Bill Russell, Will
Chamberlain,
all these guys, the stars run the show. So we need a star, and what star do we have on our team? Brunson is a star, Randall and RJ, they're not stars. Yeah. We don't have no star on our team. We need one. We're one of the only teams without a star.
I mean,
and if we want we still want to compete.
And it's not a bad trio for Brunson, RJ, and.
But if we get those 3, we have to get rid of Randall. And that's what Randall will be gone, and that's what a lot of people want. Even without Donovan coming there, a lot of people want Randall out so Obi could start. Right?
I would want. I mean, but the only thing is that some people feel that Obi isn't ready yet to start. What do you say to that?
I think he's shown enough to at least get the nod for now. I mean, I don't know. It's just.
It's no worse than what we've been doing.
You know what it is? Okay, I think he would definitely have to start if Donovan's there, because you can't have 4 ball dominant guys.
Yeah, exactly.
As in the starting lineup, Obi, he gets you so many easy baskets. It's not even funny, bro. These guys, even last season, season before that, he's always gotten easy baskets. As long as he got the confidence and they put down the defense, he's always gonna leak out and give you a good opportunity to score. Yeah. Not only that, he doesn't need the ball in his hand, so he's constantly moving. He's constantly making shit move instead of Randall stagnating everything. So it's like it's just a better offense technically with Donovan Mitchell being there, especially with Obi being in the starting lineup. The offense will be 10 times better than what we had with Randall. Okay. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on us really getting Donovan? If we get Donovan,
I mean,
would you like it?
You know, yeah, I like Donovan Mitchell. I'm not over the moon for him.
I like Donovan.
You know what I mean? I like him. He's a decent.
I think another star would be better for us.
He's a good shooting guard. I mean, I would want somebody else, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you can only get what you have.
But let's say Bradley Beal next year. Bradley Beal this year that passed. Bradley Beal, they're like one of the worst teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
While we're in the 8th and 7th spot. Potentially in getting to that 6th spot and type shit. Even if we are the 7th and 8th spot by the end of the season, we're basically that 1 star away from being a 5th seed.
Really? Or even a 4th seed. You know, like but we were a 4th seed last year.
Year before, yes, but what I'm saying is that if he's disgruntled in Washington, and
I would fucking love
Bradley Beal fits way better with a Brunson, because he got at least got defense. He's taller than a Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I think he's probably a little bit more efficient too.
Oh no, I
have to see. Check Beal's efficiency.
Oh, let me see. Let me check. But yeah, I don't know, because Donovan, he has way more playoff games at this point than
he does. That's I think the biggest thing about him, that his playoff his playoff experience does go
outmatches.
Yeah, somewhat of a long way. It's
so
just
let's
that
see efficiency.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that
50%. They're about the same.
Basically,
they're about the same. It's just that Beal is taller. He's a better defender, right? So, and a better playmaker, to be honest. So
is that what so you're saying like him and Brunson are kind of switch off in terms of playmaking?
Oh no, because technically Donovan also, but we'll switch off. Or have to switch off.
Donovan typically doesn't playmake, does he?
Yeah, no, he shot creates. Playmaking is different from shot creating.
Yeah, I know it's different.
So I'm just saying that because he had his own team where there was basically nothing. He wasn't at the top. John Wall was trash. He was out for mad long. He had to be the playmaker for his team. He didn't have to be the play. Donovan didn't have to be the playmaker for his team.
I feel that if the Knicks are in win now mode, if that's their solution to win now mode, I don't see that that's not going to win them anything. I feel that the young core is something that they can actually build for.
Well, I don't know. It's all about what they want. It's
you know what I mean?
Let's go on to our next topic. Brunson. Can Brunson be an All-Star?
Possibly. You know what I mean? I mean, well, yeah. I mean, look, Wiggins became an All-Star this year, and like his numbers overall throughout the year weren't like the best. They were great in the first half of the year. The second half of the year, he didn't make an All-NBA team at the end of the season, right? I think that's a bigger question. Can Brunson be an All-NBA player, right? I don't think so.
Well,
because I think that's a smaller.
That can't play into the All-Star thing. Yeah, I know there's All-Stars that don't become All-NBA players, maybe.
And All-NBA players that weren't selected All-Stars.
Yes, exactly. But first he has to become an All-Star to me before becoming an All-NBA player. So let him, because I don't think he's gonna become an All-NBA player. It's hard to be that best
one of the top 3 in your position.
But he can have a great year. Enough to be that
great years for half of the year.
But what I'm saying is like, yes, you're right. You great that you brought up Wiggins, because Wiggins he had a good efficiency, but he wasn't the numbers.
He wasn't like
scored 17, 18 points a game. Right?
He wasn't top 3 in his position.
But his defense and offense was so consistent this year
but
that you could not deny that he was an all-star.
Yeah, but on top of that, it was the numbers for the first half.
But
of the year.
that's one of my points. Consistency makes you an all-star, right? If he's consistent, he can be an all-star no matter what. If he bumps his, let's go to Jalen Brunson. Look, he averaging 16 points last year. If he bumps that up to 20, 21, he can be an all-star.
I mean, and we've seen.
And he bumps up his assists with his.
We've seen flashes
to
of
5 assists.
Yeah,
yes, he can be an all-star.
We've seen flashes of that he can do that. I mean, look what he did in the playoffs. Yes,
look at his efficiency. It's better than Donovan and Brunson.
Yeah. You know, like we saw what he did in the playoffs, right? I mean, he started giving us 40 pieces out of nowhere. You know, now.
It's playoff. He bumped it up in the playoffs.
We have another brother who's a big basketball.
Yeah, he played under the whistle and everything.
He made a good point that the fact that because Brunson was not the star of that show, right? Yeah, it was Luka. They didn't really game plan for him the way they did Luka playing him.
Yes.
I'm talking about Utah.
Yeah. Overall, any team that they played against, they didn't game plan against Brunson as much as they did Luka. They couldn't stop Luka.
Now Brunson, essentially, he goes to the Knicks. He's going to be like, the number
they would game plan against him mostly.
Number one option or number 1, number 2 option. Him and RJ and Randall basically be the top, the big dogs there. They're going to game plan for him. They're going to target his ass
more than although
we have to see how he responds to that.
Although they always game plan against Randall, so he can get open a lot because you double Randall, you can't get a turnover. If he could be efficient with Brunson, vice versa.
Yeah, he can basically either be the beneficiary of them game planning for
that's
Randall,
thing.
or vice versa. Say for instance, because Brunson now is considered a threat, right? Suddenly, does Randall's shots start falling or whatever? Or his shot selection becomes better.
That's my point. We don't know how RJ and Randall play with an actual good fucking point guard.
Yeah.
Look at we do actually with Rose.
Yeah.
But look how good they played with Rose.
Yeah.
But Rose couldn't play a lot of
Rose
minutes.
was a
I think
man.
Brunson can play as many minutes as he wants often.
Yeah, because he's going to be starting. So.
Yeah, and he's almost like an Iron Man where he's almost always there. He's not injured. He's always going to be available for his team. Look, he got 73 games. He had 57 games in 60 games. He had 79 games. Yeah. He's almost always there for his team.
Yeah, he's
bro.
pretty much, he's an Iron
Bro,
Man.
what I'm saying is that he's gotten so efficient that you cannot leave him.
Yeah.
So he's going to have gravity, and his pick and roll is way better than Alfred Payton or Alec Burke.
Yeah.
That he's going to get open shots with his guys.
Yeah.
And he plays differently from a Rose where, yes, Rose is efficient. And he
Rose is basically all about let's get the smartest play where instead of trying to instead of playing with urgency.
But I just think that Rose and Jalen is different.
Yeah.
But they do certain things that they're similar in the way that they're efficient. You cannot leave them. If you can have that constantly on the floor with Jalen and Rose, you constantly have great point guard play. It's gonna open so much for Randall and RJ
Yeah.
that. It's gonna make them 10 times better, I believe.
Yeah. I mean,
but we still want Randall out of there for some reason, right?
No, I mean,
it's not for some reason. Right now, I think he should not be out of there with the depth that we have now. He should not leave.
I mean, so you're saying a show improving maybe by the trade deadline.
I would and we can flip him for something even expensive.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if he goes into the season, starts playing lackadaisical like he did. Sorry, I sound like fucking Walt Frazier. He starts playing all
slamming and jamming.
Yeah, just in his vision. He starts playing the way he played throughout the season last year. He just didn't look like he wanted to be there. He looked like he got the bag and said, "Fuck it, I got the bag. I don't gotta put in effort."
Yeah, definitely.
If he does that shit again, he needs to get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. But,
he's fine.
So
you're absolutely right. Though it felt like he didn't care.
Now putting someone like a Brunson in front of him that could that could open up a lot more avenues for him, to not only to score, but also to take some of the defensive pressure off of him. Because I think that's one of the things that happened throughout the season.
He didn't have nobody to rely on, especially that Rose wasn't there. He didn't have anybody to rely on that can get buckets immediately, like. Because RJ had to take on a role to do that, but he wasn't as efficient.
There's that, but
he's
because
not
of the fact that
yet.
Brunson is young and he's kind of explosive.
But he's so efficient.
He's young and efficient, and he's also kind of very quick-witted. So
look at every year his efficiency is in the 50s. Like, he knows how to always score no matter what. Yeah. And RJ, he wasn't efficient last year to be that number 2. Yeah. This year he needs to step it up, but I think that.
But I think he stepped up more than Randall did.
Hell yeah! But that's because he was playing hard.
It was by necessity.
He was playing hard at all times, offense and defense, while Randall was not. At a certain point, Randall said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna run through the motions. That's it." RJ did not. He wanted to play like hurry up ball, and he wanted to make sure he got this bucket. He wanted to play defense. Randall wasn't playing defense either. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic.
Well, it's the last topic, right?
Last topic for the Knicks. Analysts, media attacking the Knicks.
Basically the Knicks.
Well, I'm talking about analysts like
specifically the analysts hating on the Knicks.
I
think there's either one of two things. They're hating on the Knicks or they're ignoring the Knicks.
Yes,
it's one of the two.
I'm gonna set it up for you because Brunson had his introduction, right? They did not allow the media in there at all. They just allowed family and people from the organization
Who's they?
The next organization, Leon Rose and these guys. You know who's they? They did not allow anybody in the arena or in the introduction shit. They only allowed friends, family, and everything. That's it. And the media, and analysts, the ESPN analysts, the media, any media, they took a chance to fucking.
They took that chance
to jab at the Knicks, saying, "Oh, you don't want you don't want to be asked the hard questions and all that like that." What questions were you gonna ask Brunson that was gonna be hard?
Just real quick,
they're in a what's it called? Investigation by the NBA for tampering.
Who? The Knicks?
The Knicks.
Okay.
For tampering.
Because of
the whole Brunson shit, the whole connections.
No, that I understand.
But they're protecting themselves from that. You have to protect yourself.
But aside from
if they ask you a question that seems like it's a whatever question, and you mistakenly say something wrong, you're gonna get fined or potentially worse.
But even aside from that, what I feel that is basically a bunch of petulant fucking children trying to saying, "Hey, what about me?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because the NBA media is very self-serving, just in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's not. It used to be about commenting and talking about players and teams and all that stuff. Now it becomes about the sensationalism.
It's all about the story, like the storyline that's the best.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now,
if
the Jalen Brunson thing, the Jalen Brunson tampering thing wasn't a thing here, they wouldn't give a shit and they wouldn't cover it. They wouldn't talk about it. It wouldn't be news for them because they don't talk about the Knicks whenever there's something big going on with the Knicks. Specifically, like, don't get me wrong, I understand small market teams not being talked about. I understand that.
Yeah,
so I understand you don't talk about the Sacramento Kings, right?
Yeah.
I understand you don't talk about what's another one, the Timberwolves, right? Even though the Timberwolves actually just now they've been talking about them more recently because of Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
But I understand teams like I understand those smaller teams like that. But once those teams get a certain amount of notoriety, right? Whether it be from being a big market or from wins, like say the Bucks, because they don't cover the Bucks nearly as much as they should, despite the fact that Giannis is one of the top players in the world, right? It becomes kind of pervasive. So, but then you look at the Knicks, which is very specific because New York is the biggest market in sports in general, right? The Nets get more coverage than the Knicks. Okay, somewhat understandable given the fact that Durant and Kyrie are there. They're bigger stars there. However, this is still the number one market, and there's like even when we're doing well, there's barely any attention being paid there. Case in point, I say last year because this year was the 2022 season, last year was the 2021 season. 2021 season, when we went on that fucking winning streak, it was the longest winning streak of the of that season, right? The longest winning streak of that season.
When we were the 4th seed, yes.
Yeah, we were the 4th seed. We went on the longest winning streak of the entire season. It wasn't until Stephen A. started making a big thing about the Knicks or whatever.
But they will only spend 2 minutes on it each time. They will only spend 2 minutes on it, and then just whatever. You know how long they spent on the loss that we had once we lost? That game we lost? Oh, they spent like almost a whole
an entire segment.
Half a segment
Yeah.
for spending on how they're good. There was a good little run, but now they lost, and where do they go now?
And even in the midst of it, we were like at 7 or 8 wins. Max Kellerman was talking about, whatever, it's nothing, right?
Yeah.
But then we got up to 10 wins, and they're still like they begrudgingly had to say something about it. It's like,
you know how every team they talk about every team, the Lakers and this and like that. Every team, the
Lakers.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
The Boston is like that, and everything like that. When they talk about them, they show clips of these teams making a lot of shots, doing great things, right? Just making whatever. When they was talking about the Knicks the other day, or about because the whole Brunson introduction, they didn't allow the media. They were showing every miss by the Knicks. They were showing misses. How do you show misses?
That's like Stephen A. showing all of the misses from freaking Kwame Brown's career.
Yes.
Who gives a shit?
It's just that was so petty of them for the.
It is. Just, my point is that the NBA media
they love to clown. They love to talk about the Knicks when it's time to clown them.
The problem that I have with
when it's time to
I understand
give them love. No,
no. I understand that headlines sell, and at the end of the day, because it's a news network in a sense, that they have to, talk about what sells. But I mean, really, what LeBron texted or what or said, politically, doesn't really matter in terms of fucking NBA media, right? So why in the hell are we talking more about that than say the Knicks, which a lot of people care about, right? I guarantee you. Look, there's a reason why R.J. Barrett is number 14 in the freaking he's number 14 in the Knicks jerseys, in overall NBA jersey sales, right?
Okay. He's 14.
Okay, number 14. R.J. Barrett is not an All-Star, right? But he's number 14. There's a reason why. It's because
among All-Stars,
it's because he's the Knicks. He's basically the top dog in the Knicks right now.
He's the face basically right now.
So if you were to have just at least a little bit of Knicks news in it, just the way you do with LA, because you want to put LA in everything. Hey, look, somebody ate a sandwich on the on the Lakers home court. What the fuck? Who gives a shit? Right? If you talk a little bit about it, I guarantee you will start to have fans, right? Especially New York fans, because we're a big population. We will start to pay attention and probably maybe give you a little bit more credit. Hey, look, you know what? They're covering New York. They're being a little fair about it. They're showing the pros and the cons. This is another problem that I have with most NBA media in particular. Sports analysis.
We'll talk about that later.
Sports analysis in general, but it's just that it used to be about talking about the teams, telling what the teams are doing wrong, what the teams are doing right, and that's it, right? That's how it was when I was growing up. We're fucking Inside the NFL on the HBO back in the day. You know what I mean? Now it's all about what teams are doing wrong, only covering certain teams when they do wrong, right?
Yeah.
Right? Which is ridiculous.
You do that with the Jets too.
Which is ridiculous, right?
You know
what I mean? So like the Knicks,
the New York market, they love to do that with.
And I think that comes as almost like a form of jealousy, simply because it is New York and we have so many championships here. Yeah. You know what I mean? We have.
The Knicks don't have the biggest championship for you to shit on them.
No.
But we are the number one market.
It's the number one market with as many championships as we have here, cumulatively in terms of sports. Yeah. Right? There's this level of like. And that's another thing that you have to understand, that a lot of that media is based in LA, so there's this sort of kind of like, oh well, fuck New York kind of thing.
Anyways,
I don't know.
They just love to attack the Knicks, and that's it. You have to understand, they just love it. All right. See you, Knicks fans. Speak to you later. All right.